Hi guys, today I am going to talk about smudging and cleansing your space. The reason, because I get so many calls from people saying, Dawn, can you come out to my house and bless it? Can you come out and clear it so that it has positive energy in it? And I get it. When you move into a new house, or if you're having something that's creepy crawly around, you want that out. You want other people's energy out and only your energy in. So I get it. The great thing about it though is you don't need me to come out. You don't need to pay me. You don't need to pay somebody else to come out because you can do most cleansings and blessings on your own. It's really simple. But then I always get the question, well, how do I do that? Because if you don't live in the metaphysical community, this isn't your day-to-day, you probably have never seen a cleansing done. I know before I got into it, even growing up in a spiritualist and an open family, we had no idea what cleansing was. So I'm going to show you the simple tools that you use and the simple ways that you can do this so that you can clear your space and be confident that you're bringing in good intent, bringing in the white light, and creating a space of peace and harmony in your life. So there's a couple of things that you'll need. First and foremost, it's the most important part is smudge itself. A stick of sage is what is most commonly used. This is white sage. If you use white sage, you also want to use something like a sweetgrass, or you want to use a lavender, cedar. You want to burn something in addition to the sage. This is where some people go wrong. They're told to get the sage stick, but they're not told to get the sweetgrass. Sage, it eliminates negative energy. It pushes energy out. The sweetgrass brings in that positivity, that intention. If you are doing this, you quite honestly don't need the sweetgrass if you are putting your intent in that it's clear. But if you have the littlest bit of doubt, that's where some of that negativity can fill that space, the vacuum that is created by the sage. My recommendation to most people is, because you can buy a lot of sticks for about the same cost that already have the lavender, the cedar, the sweetgrass in it, get one of those, because then you only have to have one tool. It'll look a little bit different. It'll look a little bit like this. That's what I do. I like ones that have lavender in it because it has a little bit of a sweet smell, where the sage for me, well, it has a nice smell. It reminds me a little bit of pot, and from my college days with the folks who lived underneath me, it's a little bit disturbing, and I feel like I'm back there. So I like the little bit of a sweet smell that's put in with the lavender. If you don't like the smell of sage, you could use something else. You could use something like a copal, frankincense and myrrh, dragon's blood, which is a resin. It's a little bit harder to use, but it has a slightly different smell, and it has the same effect. If you use this, however, you're going to need to also use some charcoal. You can get rolls of it. You can buy it by the brick. You could quite frankly probably use the charcoal you use for your grill, but you'll also need to use some of this, because this, by lighting this, you'll then put the resin on top of it, which will allow for it to bubble and then the smoke to waft. A couple other things are used in a traditional clearing. Many people will use an abalone shell. This is to hold the sage. It's also to catch the ashes. Some folks also feel it's important to have all of the elements represented. The sage represents earth. The abalone shell represents water. In that, they'll also use a feather. So you can blow on the sage to get it going. Some folks will use the feather to be getting the smoke to be wafting. The feather and that air that is created is that air element. And then obviously there is the fire that is created when you light the sage. My recommendation for people is always to get a white candle and some matches. Do you need matches? No, for me it's part of the ritual, but I will always just sort of light the white candle. And then from the white candle representing the element of fire, I'll take the sage and I'll just light it off of there. So those are the tools that you will use while you're doing a clearing. To do the clearing, once you get this going, once you get it going, go around your house. Get in all the nooks, the crannies, the crevices. Focus on your electronics. They hold a lot of energy, as well as mirrors, because energy can be trapped there. It's always a good practice to have a window or a door open. Some folks, they like to go in a circle from north to east to south to west, pushing everything out, making sure they hit the entire space. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter. While you're doing this, I always say a little bit of a prayer. Call in any spirits, be it Mother, Father, God, your guides, your loved ones, anybody that you would like to be helping clear that space, the Archangel Michael, to be pushing any negative energy, be it spirit or be it just gunk that we pick up in our day-to-day lives. You can also choose to keep those loved ones that are your loved ones, should you like to. Say you know that your grandmother is around the house and you don't want to push her out. Don't. Say, I just want to push any spirits that are not mine out. Those that are mine are welcome to stay and hang around. You may have to do this clearing more than once. It's not a one and you're done. Just like spring cleaning, you got to do it every year. And the frequency of doing those clearings is truly up to you. You can do them once a month. You can do them every 6 months. You can do it once a year. Depending on what type of energy you're bringing in will depend upon the frequency with which you clear. If you are in high stress situations, you are around a lot of crazy people, you might want to clear more often. If you don't and you have everything kind of in balance, you might not need to clear as much. I clear a few times a year. I'd like to do it a little bit more often, but I don't really necessarily feel the need to. I do have the intention that my space is safe, and because of that, I don't feel I need to clear all of the time. So now that you're smudging, you may be thinking, how do I know if my space is done? There's a couple of things that you can use as a rule of thumb. One, when you get a sage stick that's about this size or about this size, that is about the size that you'll need for an entire house. So if you have an apartment, you might use only a portion of it. Although with apartments, if you have people around you, I'd be encouraging you to use the entire stick. Another good rule of thumb that you can be looking at is the color of the smoke. Now you can't see the smoke probably very clearly on the camera. You might see it, but you might not be able to see the color of it, that is. Right now, for me, it's coming where it's pretty clear, it's pretty white in color, almost a bluish tint, probably because of the lighting. If you're seeing where the smoke looks a little bit muddy, like it looks brown or it looks black, you want to keep smudging the room. There's still something that is lingering. The smoke is a good indication of that. Also, what's a good indication is how hot it is burning. If it's burning really hot and it's going really fast and there's a lot of smoke coming out of the smudge, again, that room is probably needing a little bit of extra attention. So now that you're ready to smudge, you're probably thinking, where the heck do I get the supplies I need to be able to do this? Well, you can go to my website. I have some supplies available there. And if you use this discount code, you'll get a discount for watching today's video. You don't see what you need there, you can go to any local metaphysical bookstore and they will have smudging supplies. I've even seen smudge at our local grocery store and Whole Foods store. It's usually in the holistic remedies section, so you can pick up sage there as well if you don't have a metaphysical bookstore near you, or you don't even know if there is one in your area. You can pick it up while you're doing your grocery shopping. So guys, I hope that answers your questions about smudging and clearing. Should you have any questions, things that I didn't cover in the video about it, please be certain to put them in the comments below. If you have any tips of clearing that you use, please again put them in the comments below. Share, create a community around it. That's it for today. I will be back tomorrow. If you like what you're seeing, subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications button so you get alerts next time a video is updated. That is it for today. Bye guys. Happy smudging.